Hi everyone, it's Don, and today's topic is another gentleman suing, this time Royal Caribbean. And this was sent to me from a fellow subscriber named Terry. Terry, thank you for sending me this article because I love these kind of stories, and I want to find out, everybody, what your opinion is on this lawsuit. Do you think it's warranted? Do you think he's just looking for a free something? Well, let's talk about it right after this. So first off, a bit about the cruise. The cruise was in December of 2016. On the 11th was the original sail date, and it was leaving Australia, going to Sydney. Leaving Sydney, Australia, going to Fiji, and that sounds like a great cruise to me. So a gentleman named Brendan Ritson, he booked an inside cabin, and on the first night, on December 11th, when he got on board, he noticed a small leak of water from a pipe in his stateroom. Royal Caribbean apologized right away, and they found him another cabin. They put him on an outside cabin double, which is a big upgrade from the cabin he was in. Mr. Ritson seemed very happy with this. Now, the trouble begins 3 days later when a mother and daughter apparently moved into the stateroom next door. According to Mr. Ritson, they were very loud, they argued, they used offensive language, and their snoring at night kept them awake. Now, that had to be some record-breaking snoring, because I don't hear normally people talking in the staterooms next to me, but can you imagine hearing snoring through your room? How loud must that person snore? And I understand some people have conditions, they can't help it, so it's not their fault. But I mean, can you imagine hearing snoring through the stateroom? That would be incredible. But apparently Mr. Ritson, and not only that was the snoring, but it was foul language, yelling and arguing all the time. So on December 18th, he complained twice to the staff at Royal Caribbean because he had enough. And so if they get on board on the 11th and it's now the 18th, that means 7 days of the sailing has gone by. Royal Caribbean said, "We do have another cabin. It's the same category as the cabin you originally booked." So another interior cabin, the same category. And Mr. Ritson said, "No, I don't want to be downgraded." Well, technically it's not a downgrade because the cabin you're in was an upgrade for free because of problems, but moving you back to the exact same cabin you were in originally isn't really a downgrade. It's a sideways sort of thing. But I understand where he's coming from. He's in a nice cabin. He wants to stay there. The next day, so on December 19th, Royal Caribbean had another cabin, the same type of cabin he was in, and they were willing to move him into it at that point, and he said he would let them know if he's willing to move. Royal Caribbean heard no more about it for the rest of the cruise, and lo and behold, he files a lawsuit demanding his $2,434, the full refund for his cruise, which he states was ruined because of noisy neighbors, that he couldn't sleep, etc. So, how do you think this court case went? Do you think, first of all, he was justified in asking for a full refund because of noisy neighbors? Do you think Royal Caribbean was negligent because they didn't act fast enough? Or were they negligent for putting this couple next door and not handling the situation there? Well, I'll tell you what the courts decided. The courts decided that, this was completely unreasonable by, Mr. Ritson. Trouble is, Royal Caribbean, when they had a leak, moved him immediately to a better cabin. 3 days later, he gets roommates next door that he doesn't like. He complains on the 7th day to the company, which is more than half of the cruise has already sailed by. They offer to move him again. He says no. They offer to move him the second time the next day, and he says he'll let them know. So because they offered him so many choices and so many times to accommodate him, the judge said that absolutely Royal Caribbean tried their best to accommodate this passenger, and his refusal to move to a cabin was unreasonable. Had he been in a balcony cabin and was moved to an interior cabin because of a problem, he could have demanded a portion of his money back or even possibly gotten it all back. But because it was vice versa, it was an upgrade, he was going back to his original cabin, and even on the second day, they offered him the same upgraded cabin in a different area, and he said he'll let them know. So, no, the court wasn't having any of this, and they said, no, sorry, this lawsuit, is unreasonable, and they threw it out. So, to go all the way to court and like that, somebody had to think that they were absolutely in the right. So, do you think he had any merit whatsoever to this case, or was he just looking for a handout, a free cruise, like so many people out there try and get something for nothing? If it rains on their cruise, they complain they want their money back. I hear that all the time, and I actually get clients who call me and said, well, it rained 3 days on my cruise, they should refund me 3 days of my cruise back. And I say, sorry, the cruise line has no way to fix the weather for you. So, yeah, there you go. So I hope you like this video. Again, Terry, thank you for sending me that article. It was fantastic. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more videos, more tips, more trips around the world, please hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.